Welcome back. If you just joined us, we're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you from Lagos. A reminder of our major stories tonight. 10 suspects standing trial, including the notorious Henry Chibueze, also known as Vampire, escaped from the court premises in Owerri, the Imo State capital, after gunmen stormed the court. Governor Rochas Okorocha puts a 5 billion naira bounty on Vampire, says his escape poses serious security risk to the state. Nigerian Customs hands over 2 seized helicopters to the Air Force for failing to comply with necessary import requirements. And US President Donald Trump and British Prime Minister Theresa May reaffirmed their commitment to the NATO alliance after White House talks. For more on our top stories and others, please visit our websites channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. You can also watch us on the go on your mobile device. Log on to m.channelstv.com or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. I'd like to remind you that having the Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You also have the Eyewitness feature, so you too can be part of the news. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu and follow the instructions to share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. And now to some of the pictures that you sent into Eyewitness portal. Let's take a look at some of them, shall we? First is this one from Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. We see residents of Akobo community busy at work fixing the Alawakala Way. According to Eyewitness reporter, they combined resources, including money, to rehabilitate the road. He commends such positive contribution to society. This next one is from Benin City in Edo State. It shows an electricity transformer on Adolo Street. Our Eyewitness reporter, who claims it is an abandoned project, is appealing to authorities to complete the project. Finally, from Delta State comes this picture of a prepaid meter beside spaces for 3 others, which our Eyewitness reporter says were stolen. He says theft of prepaid meters has become rampant in Egini town in Udu local government area, and is asking the electricity distribution company in the state to address this problem by making the meters available to all households. Thanks for sending in those pictures, and please keep them coming. An international donor agency, Save the Children, says $1 billion is required to alleviate the plight of children in internally displaced people's camps within the Northeast. The group further states that the lack of access to education and inadequate nutrition continue to hinder the development of children in the Northeast. The NGO made this known as detailed needs assessment based on a recent tour of the Northeast with the global CEO of the organization. Our correspondent, Ajuri Ngalale, reports.
An old axiom offers that violence begets violence and education begets development. Currently, 80% of children displaced by the Boko Haram insurgency since 2011 live in host communities with little or no access to education, according to a report by a non-governmental organization, Save the Children.
As far as I know, we have no investment from the commercial sector in the response at the moment, as far as I know. We, as an organization, certainly do not have at the moment. It is all public money, so it's coming from the British government, the Norwegian government, from governments.
As emergency relief efforts attempt to curtail the ongoing crisis in the region, humanitarian workers say that rebuilding more than 1,200 schools destroyed during the insurgency and hiring over 500 teachers killed over the past few years is a task requiring major government intervention.
If you ask for too much, people just walk in the opposite direction. If you ask for too little, they don't give it. So you've got to find somewhere in the middle. But it is based on figures that were put together both by government every government department engaged in this, along with the UN and the international NGOs.
Before the insurgency began, 73% of children in Borno State aged 5 to 16 had never attended school, an already deplorable rate which has plummeted further, and relief workers say that an estimated 3 million children out of school in the region have other important needs.
You have a very high malnutrition rate. WHO say that when you have 15% of children malnourished, that's sort of a risk level. In certain areas, it has been measured up to 45%.
With the future of a region and the sustainability of socio-political stability in the north at stake, there is no better time than now to chart a new course for future generations, seeking hope today. Ajuri Ngilale, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, the NYSC orientation camp in Adamawa State has reopened 4 years after its closure due to activities of Boko Haram insurgents. According to NYSC and government officials, corps members will be posted to all the local government areas in the state, except Madagali and Michika local government areas, which are still witnessing pockets of suicide attacks. About 1,850 Batch B Stream Corps 2 corps members, including 958 males and 892 females, will participate in the 3-week orientation exercise.
Adamawa State Polytechnic, Yola, is a chosen venue for the mandatory National Youth Service Corps orientation camp. It's with a sense of hope for a better security situation in the northeast that these corps members are sworn in.
The leadership of those in authority.
No youth corps member has been posted to Yola since 2013 after Adamawa State got caught up in the Boko Haram insurgency and the security situation became too dangerous even for the indigents. The NYSC state coordinator is optimistic that the move will help restore the image of the state.
Words cannot express how much we appreciate Your Excellency for his zeal and commitment to the return of the hosting orientation course in the state. This has gone a long way in restoring our corporate image and relevance in the state.
Governor Mohammed Jubrila says nothing will be left to chance, assuring the corps members of adequate security during their stay.
I think the most important thing that the NYSC corps members here that need to know is the state of the security of Adamawa State. This is very paramount for you to understand. Yes, Adamawa State is one of the frontline states in terms of the insurgency, or what we call the insurgency, and what people used to say Boko Haram, I think is going to be a thing of the past. So I think it's even a thing of the past.
Now, it seems the youth corpers are over their initial fears of being posted to the northeast.
We hear so many things on the news, and we've always heard and known that Adamawa State was a supposed trouble state. But so far, so good. I think it's a peaceful state.
When I ask people, where are you posted? Adamawa, they say, Adamawa, okay. Why will you put Adamawa? It's a troublesome state, it's no security, but when I was coming, I saw, welcome to Yola. The security was very tight.
1,850 prospective corps members are in Adamawa State for the 2016 batch. They are part of the 200,000 others posted across the country.
The Supreme Court has struck out the bid by the federal government to stop the Lagos State government from asserting control over landed property it sold out to individuals and corporate bodies within the Lagos territory. The Apex Court held that since the federal government had already sold out the property and divested its interest in them, it can no longer have any interest that can be threatened by actions of the Lagos State government. Delivering ruling in an application brought before it by the Attorney General of the Federation against the Lagos State government, the Supreme Court held that the federal government, having sold off the property in dispute, can no longer invoke the jurisdiction of this court since it has no standing to do so. The federal government had between 1967 and the present sold off a number of its landed property in the state to various individuals and corporate bodies. Let's go to our Abuja studios now with Ivy Clem, who has more on the news at 10. Hi, Ivy.
Hello, Amarachi, and we'll start with the judiciary as well.
the Supreme Court has granted leave to the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Grand Alliance in the March 2015 governorship election in Abia State, Mr. Alex Otti, to join a suit challenging the election of Governor Okezie Ikpeazu of Abia State. The Apex Court set aside the decision of the appeal court, which stopped Mr. Otti from participating in the appeal on the grounds that he was not a party to the suit at the Federal High Court level. Justice Clara Ogumbiyi, who delivered the lead judgment, said the appeal court was wrong in refusing Mr. Otti from joining in the suit. According to her, the move by the appeal court denied Mr. Otti his fundamental right to fair hearing, and since the substantive appeal has been decided at the appeal court and is now at the Supreme Court, the Apex Court set aside the decision of the lower court and ordered Mr. Otti to join the appeal at the Apex Court.
He has been granted leave to appeal. He's going to appeal, and the appeal will be heard by the Supreme Court. It's not more than that. He feels that he has a right of appeal. The Supreme Court feels that he should be heard, and he will be heard. That's all. Everything will be expedited. I expect them to be before the court in time for every other appeal to be heard with it.
Staying with the judiciary, a high court sitting in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, has adjourned the commencement of trial of the Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, Professor Olushola Oyewole, till February the 9th. This adjournment became necessary as the counsel to the first defendant challenged the jurisdiction of the court to preside over the fraud charges. The institution's pro-chancellor and the chairman of the council, Mr. Adesheye Ogunlewe, and the bursar, Moses Ilesomi, are also standing trial on an 18-count charge bordering on abuse of office, stealing and fraud to the tune of 409 million naira. The court adjourned the matter, saying it requires time to get to determine if it has the jurisdiction to entertain the case or not.
You are accused of an offense that there's nothing against you. Why should the court waste its time if that is the case? It's not. It's in consonance with legal procedure.
I had to apply for an adjournment to enable me further react to the submissions of counsel in court, where any facts were raised which were not contained in their application and submissions, to the effect of the signatory to the charges, the counts in the information, whether he is eligible to sign such.
The Federal Capital Territory Command of the Nigerian Police has arrested 6 suspects allegedly behind the murder of a police corporal. Briefing journalists on the command's operation for January 2016, the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Mohammed Mustafa, explained that the suspects stabbed the deceased and collected all his valuables, including phones and cash. 20 other suspect criminals were also paraded for various offenses, ranging from armed robbery to theft and cultism.
The syndicate, which operates in an unpainted taxi, is responsible for the gruesome murder of a police corporal who was robbed of his 2 phones, Go TV, cash and other valuables before he was stabbed severely on the chest by a member of the gang identified as Saliu Saka on the 29th of December 2016, after the deceased boarded their vehicles as a passenger. The dagger used in the stabbing, the deceased police officer, has been recovered. All 6 suspects arrested have confessed to the crime and will be charged to court on conclusion of investigations. The command wants to state unequivocally that the milestone it has recorded in the arrest of these daredevil armed robbers who killed a police officer in cold blood should serve as a note of warning to other notorious criminals that specialize in attacking police personnel, security agents, and innocent citizens that the command is prepared to deploy massively its investigative prowess to deal with their excesses and ensure that such criminal elements do not evade justice.
When the news at 10 returns, Nigeria's interbank lending rate drops to 5% following increased liquidity in the money market. That's on Business News. Join us again.